Hey there guys, Kate here, and today we are gonna be talking about a really rare Roblox item that only has around 18 copies left, and this item is also on top of that really old and is really expensive as well. Alright, so before we can get into it, feel free to like and subscribe because why not, it's free and I would appreciate it and it helps me out. Alright, so what is this item that we are gonna be talking about? Well, this item is called the Steampunk Bobby. Now, as you can see here, this is a helmet. It's like a police officer helmet, because if you didn't know, Bobby is actually a misspelling of Bobby, and it's like a slang term for a police officer in some parts of the UK. So yeah, that's why it looks like a police officer. Now, we need to go back all the way to the year 2013 actually, when this was put on the catalog. However, since it was released on December 30th, 2013, nothing really happened with it in the year 2013. Most of the things with it happened in 2014. Alright, so actually this was a gift card item. That itself does not make items rare, however it decreases the amount of people who can get it. If it's at a select retailer and not like, anyone can buy it on Amazon, which like anyone can buy anything on Amazon. No, it was at a select retailer, only a one retailer. So yeah, and all throughout January in 2014, you could obtain it by going to the retailer Currys, like, the British retailer, which, so Roblox does not disclose how many people got a gift card item, but since this went limited on February 2nd, 2014, and Roblox actually does disclose how many copies an item had in total before it was limited. When an item goes limited, we do know how many copies it had. So, if we head over onto Roblox, while Roblox says 65 of these exist, I'm just gonna assume 65 people got this, which is not a lot. And actually, so here is the item on January 8th, 2014. As you can see here, this was a kind of an unknown item with only 18 favorites, and of course, it's not on sale. This is a gift card item. Yeah, nothing really special about that, but since this went limited and this turned out to be a very rare gift card item, since according to Roblox, only 65 people ever redeemed a gift card from Currys in January 2014. So yeah, that makes it pretty rare. And here is the item on August 31st, 2014, after it went limited. As you can see here, it still only has 98 favorites. It only has a recent average price of 14,000 Robux, but I don't think this item had any demand, since if I'm reading this correctly, this dropped and not a lot of people knew about this. Alright, but then we can fast forward to 2015, October 2015, and this item still only has 2 resellers, only 115 favorites, a recent average price of 25,000 Robux. And actually, Shadletsky is reselling it for 600,000 Robux, and then Stickmaster Luke for 618 million Robux, which is always nice. And then I got this archive from March 2015. The recent average price here is 20,000 Robux, and Shadletsky is also selling it for 261 million Robux. However, what I'm noticing is here in March 2015 it has 128 favorites, and here in October 2015 it has 115. So 13 people unfavorited this, which that's very interesting. And actually, fun fact about this item, it was designed by a guy called John T. Ape Games, and Roblox uploaded it. And the hat itself is not bad. I mean, it's nothing extraordinary, but it's pretty cool. And as of 2026, this item is actually one of the rarest items. If we go over onto Rollimons, this item supposedly only has 18 copies left, and out of that, 5 are hoarded. So that means, in reality, only 15 people own this. And I mean, this item barely sells, like it doesn't really sell. Like, as you can see, you have to skip a lot in between dates where it sells. Like, if I'm reading this correctly, it didn't sell once between 2020 and 2025, but then on July 9th, 2025, it sold for 1.8 million Robux. But nevertheless, this item is still very rare, among the rarest items on Roblox, which makes it pretty cool. And it's pretty decent looking. So yeah, but despite selling for that much and being resold for 630 million Robux, it has a recent average price of 194,000, which that's pretty cool, however much lower than the asking price. So yeah, but that is all about this really rare item. I don't know how many people were buying gift cards, and by the number of people who have this, which was only ever 65 in total, not a lot of people were buying gift cards from Curry's in 2014 for Roblox specifically. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.